Finance, Legal Affairs, and National Security, Air and Sea Ports Development, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Mr. Godfrey Pompey, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of National Security, Air and Sea Ports Development, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Dr. David Farrell, Principal, Caribbean Institute of Meteorology and Hydrology. Ms. Elizabeth Riley, Deputy Executive Director of the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency. Ms. Corcell Robertson, Director of Airports, Ministry of National Security, Air and Seaports Development, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Mr. Glendell de Souza, Science and Technology Officer, Caribbean Meteorological Organization. International organizations, regional CARICOF organizations, National Meteorological and Hydrological Services, national sector agencies, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, friends all, good morning.
Good morning.
It's an honor to be here representing the United States government through the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, at the launch of the 2017 Wet Season Caribbean Outlook Forum, CARICOF, here in the wonderful St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The United States government has enjoyed a long-standing relationship with the government and people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, which has spanned a broad array of sectoral areas, including small enterprise development, juvenile justice reform, at-risk youth, building climate resistance, and biodiversity. St. Vincent and the Grenadines continues to show leadership within the sub-region and has been proactive in driving the change process. This was evident in phase 1 of our juvenile justice reform project, where the government was proactive in the reform of the Ministry of Social Transformation, thus becoming a model for other OECS countries in the region.
We all recognize that the climate is changing. Some people may dispute the causes of climate change, but we all recognize that the climate is changing. And as a result, the Institute has been involved in trying to do its programs more towards supporting the area of climate and climate resilience. This includes providing climate services, and one of the reasons that we're here is really to talk about climate services. But in 2007, we had a vision at CIMH to start a process of not just being a data center, but to really transform the work that we do beyond being a data center.
Pope Francis has written an encyclical on the subject, and I agree with what he says in the encyclical, but he also reminds us, and he's not a communist, that one of the reasons why we have all this problem with climate change has to do with the rapaciousness of monopoly capitalism and the extraction of resources on and on and on, fueled in part by our own thirst for consumption goods, and we ourselves individually avoiding some responsibility. But structurally, it is the whole apparatus of monopoly capitalism, and those in some other countries which parade under the name of communism who want to imitate the same system of monopoly capitalism by carrying on the wanton extraction not only in their own country but also in Africa, for example. I'm not calling any country's name, but we all know what we are talking about. So that is essentially, and I'm not, as I say, I'm paraphrasing the Holy Father.